Hello, my name is Anitarky and don't forget to subscribe and comment. Hello, my name is Anitarky and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to support it. Subscribe and comment. After having slept for 5 years, the man wakes up only to discover that he has become humanity's last hope because 95% of men on Earth are extinct while the number of women remains 5 million. To ensure the reproduction of humanity, the government sends many beautiful girls to sleep with him. Since then, the man has lived a hard but happy life in the harem. We reveal his story in today's summary. In 2040, the male protagonist of this anime, Reito, musters up the courage to confess his feelings to his beloved Erisa, and the two become. Unfortunately, the couple later, Reito suffers from a rare disease as medical technology at this time cannot cure his illness. Reito has to say goodbye to Erisa and be placed in cryostasis until a cure for his illness is developed. 5 years later, Reito wakes up from the cryostasis device he had on. He is surrounded by female staff, which Reito finds very strange. A girl named Mira tells Reito what happened when she was in cryostasis 4 years ago. A horrible virus called MK appeared in the world and only men were able to get infected with the MK virus. Once people get infected, the NK virus die quickly. All the other men in the world died as a result. Due to Reito's special illness, he accidentally acquired immunity to the MK virus and survived. Reito can't believe Mira's words, but when he reaches the streets of the city, he doesn't see no man. When women see Reito, they are all very excited and want to touch him. Mira's men detain the women. Mira then tells Reito that she is a secretary sent by the government to help him. The government orders Mira to help Reito sleep with as many women as possible so that humans can continue to reproduce. Right now, the world is ruled by a government called UW. The Japanese branch of the UW government finds a total of 5 surviving men. All of these men have the same rare disease as Reito and they were put in cryostasis. To this day, the disease can now be cured before a man named Kyoji wakes up. First, Kyoji accepts the advice of the government of the University of Washington and sleeps with as many women as possible. That night, Mira suddenly she arrives at Reito's room and wants to sleep with Reito, but Reito rejects her because Reito is deeply in love with Erisa and does not want to sleep with another woman other than Erisa. However, Erisa has been missing for a long time and Lighthouse will not be able to see her again. By the next day, Mira goes out to meet more beautiful girls and thinks that among so many beautiful girls there must be the one that the typewriters like, but Reito still rejects the beauties. Mira tells Reito that his choice could lead to the extinction of humanity. He has to ask Mira for a month. If he can't find Erisa within a month, he will accept the advice of the University of Washington government to sleep with other girls. Mira accepts Reito's request, but also offers a condition. Since Mira has to do the job, she still needs to send beautiful girls to seduce Reito. Reito has to endure constant temptations throughout the month. Shortly after, a beautiful girl bursts into the bathroom while Reito is showering. Reito feels very shy. Later, Reito learns that this beauty is a bodyguard sent to him by the UW government. Apart from her, the UW government sends another girl to Reito as a bodyguard. The girl is a mutant who has the power to easily kill a bear. He takes them to the place where Erisa worked to look for clues. Erisa's previous job was studying the MK virus, but a few years ago she suddenly disappeared. Reito, like Erisa, is a virus researcher. Reito decides to take charge of Erisa's research and try to save the world. In this way, Reito has a younger sister named Mahiro. When he sees the news of Reito's awakening, she arrives for the first time at the Government Research Institute at the University of Washington. Reito is in this institute reading what Erisa left behind. Mahiro finds a bracelet among the dolls left by Erisa. This bracelet can only be unlocked by Reito. Reito thinks there might be a secret hidden in the bracelet, so he checks the bracelet in private. In fact, there is a secret video hidden in the bracelet in which Erisa tells Reito that she has discovered that the MK virus is human caused, and he tells Reito to pay attention to his safety. Reito is so surprised that he decides to secretly investigate the MK virus and find out the truth as soon as possible. Meanwhile, the government of the University of Washington is ready to wake up the third surviving man. The third surviving man's name is Shota. He was a high school student before being put in cryostasis. Shota was a loser in high school because he was born with white hair and others called him old man. None of the boys wanted to be friends with Shota. The girls also didn't like him. Only a beautiful music teacher treated Shota well, so Shota had a crush on her. Later, due to his rare illness, Shota could only choose to be put into cryostasis when he wakes up. He still lives at the school. He showed his secretary. Karen selects a group of beautiful girls for him as classmates, but the secretary hides the order from the UW government and Shota. He doesn't know that the government of the University of Washington orders him to sleep with as many girls as possible at the same time that the secretary also hides the survival of other men. And Shota thinks that he is the only surviving man. Initially, Shota doesn't fit in a class with only his classmates and often feels shy after class. Shota is surprised to discover that the music teacher is also at school that night. The music teacher comes to Shota's room. He he suddenly turns off the light and kisses Shota. Shota is so happy he thinks he is dreaming. Showdown then has a wonderful night with her music teacher the next day of school. Shota is excited to discover that all the students are paying attention to her. The classmates fight for Shota's favor and they all want the only man in the school sleep with him. Shota feels very fresh and happy with this kind of life. Karen deliberately hides the order from the UW government because she believes it will allow Shota to enjoy living with her classmates more and benefit human reproduction. In fact, Karen's plan is very successful. Shota loves his current life very much. Much agreeing with Karen's plan, Shota follows it and begins dating and sleeping with many girls. But Karen thinks that the relationship has been going on too long and tells Shota the truth shortly after. All the girls at school, they are beauties carefully selected by her. They are beautiful and they also like the type of guy like Shota, so Shota should continue to comply with the UW government's order to sleep with as many girls as possible by then. Shota has passed the stage of being shy, so take the task positively. Karen also meanwhile has earned the recognition of the UW government officials. Since he has not slept with women, the UW government believes that Mira is not capable enough, so they send 2 secretaries plus Rita. The new secretaries think that Reito shouldn't stay at the institute all the time, so they take Reito to a small town suitable for tourism. The secretaries know that Reito has been concentrating on studying the MK virus recently and are worried that Reito will refuse the trip, so the town they choose is also related to the MK virus. It is a town with excellent hot springs, and also the place where the first infection of the MK virus appeared. When they arrive at the hot spring, the secretaries and bodyguards come to Reito and immerse themselves in the hot spring with him. Reito feels very shy and quickly runs away. Reito does not want to approach and staff with beautiful girls. All he wants is to study the MK virus. After Reito goes to visit an old woman. The old woman's husband was the first man infected with the MK virus, but she is reluctant to talk about this sad past. Reito is very persistent and visits the old woman several times in the hope of convincing her to tell him some useful information. The old woman is very surprised to learn that Reito wakes up and refuses to sleep with women other than his beloved. The old woman is moved by Reito's sincerity and finally decides to say something to Reito a day later, but the old woman is poisoned at night and falls into a coma. It seems that someone doesn't want Reito to know more about the MK virus. Reito doesn't give up and goes to a hospital after Reito's husband, the old lady, got sick. They once came to this hospital for treatment. Now the hospital is abandoned. Reito and others come to the hospital to see if there are some clues, but they don't find anything. After returning to the Government Research Institute of the University of Washington, Rita, the bodyguards tell Reito that many MK virus researchers have disappeared in recent years, so Reito must be careful. They suspect UW government leaders are responsible for the missing virus researchers. Reito's bodyguards and secretaries support Reito's research into the MK virus, so they secretly created a base in the abandoned hospital that allowed Reito to do research outside the surveillance of the UW government. They later discovered that many of the MK virus infected and researchers went missing at this specific hospital, along with the fact that this hospital was the place where the first infected person was treated. Reito speculates that this hospital may also be the first place where the MK virus occurs. The University of Washington government rules the world and is headquartered in the United States, but the University of Washington seat of government is at odds with many national branches. Recently, the headquarters staff prepares come to the Japanese branch to pick up the surviving men. But the Japanese branch is reluctant to hand them over because they do not trust the University of Washington's government headquarters on this day. Shota falls in love with a girl he wants to sleep with tonight, but the girl rejects Shota. It turns out that the girl is an undercover agent and is also Alyssa's partner at the moment. Shota is accustomed to school life and lives a happy life with his classmates every day without feeling that he has become a resource that larger forces fight for. The first man that the government headquarters of the University of Washington wants to capture is Reito. They send emissaries to negotiate with the Japanese branch officials and also send a special force to secretly capture Reito. Special forces raid the Japanese branch and transfer Reito to another location. The University of Washington's government headquarters then declares war directly on the Japanese branch. The men from the headquarters quickly arrest the leader of the Japanese branch to find the rest of the survivors. ASAP that night there is an in-show attack on the school, and suddenly an explosion goes off in Shota's bedroom. Luckily, Shota only suffers minor injuries because the main purpose of this explosion is to take Shota, not kill him. Karen tells Shota that the people carrying out the explosions come from a resistance group who don't want to be ruled by the UW government, which is why they have been fighting the UW government. Karen also tells Shota that in fact the outside wall of the school has high voltage electricity. People outside cannot enter and people inside cannot leave. The school is like a prison and Shota is a prisoner in it. But Karen decides to change Shota's life. She no longer hides the truth and tells Shota that there are 4 men alive besides Shota. Shota is a little surprised, but then Karen says something that stuns even him. More, Karen wants to work with Shota to become the most powerful person in the world. Karen can't do it alone, but it can be done with Shota's participation. Karen convinces Shota that they are ready to leave school and go to the government of the University of Washington to fight for more power. Undercover agents of the Resistance discover that Shota is working with Karen and report the incident to Erisa. Erisa appears to be the leader of the Resistance. At this moment, Erisa is holding a demonstration with a group of rebels taking advantage of the UW government headquarters confrontation with the Japanese branch and steals a cryostasis device in which survivor number 4 is located. While someone from the UW headquarters tells Reito that Erisa is a member of the Resistance and states that it is a wrong decision by the Japanese branch to allow men. The survivors continue sleeping with women, and then something happens that shocks the world. The Resistance broadcasts live worldwide how they rescue the 4th surviving man. Erisa also tells people around the world that they find out that the MK virus is manufactured at the University of Washington government headquarters. Some people at the University of Washington government HQ hates the men so much that they secretly create the MK virus, which leads to disaster, and plan to continue killing the rest of the surviving men. Erisa asks people around the world to rebel against the UW government and protect the surviving men. After watching the live broadcast of Reito asks the UW government staff if they want to kill him, but the staff firmly denies this claim. However, all of Reito's bodyguards and secretaries think that the UW government could harm a lighter, so they decide to help Reito escape from the UW government right now. Shota too arrives at this area but looks completely different than before. It turns out that Karen used a special technique to make Shota seem more trustworthy. It made him 5 years older and he seemed stronger. He also underwent surgery to modify Shota's vision, and Shota no longer wears glasses when Shota left school. Also brought out his favorite classmates who they still live with Shota after Reito left. Shota tells Karen that he thinks Reito is a talent and that Koji doesn't seem trustworthy. If Reito wants to leave the government from University of Washington, has to get a lot of help. Reito tells Mira about the idea in hopes that Mira will help him. Mira abruptly takes off her clothes and says that if Reito wants to get her help, he must first have an intimate interaction with her. Reito rejects Mira again, much to Mira's sadness because she is already in love with him. Reito cannot stand to see Mira be sad and finally kisses her. When someone from the UW headquarters suddenly captures Reito, and Mira turns out to be the headquarters from the UW long ago discovered that Reito wants to escape, but they underestimate Reito's bodyguards. Reito's bodyguards easily defeat them and help Reito escape from the other side's area. Karen and Shota make a request. They want to meet with 3 leaders at UW headquarters. The 3 leaders are said to be as intelligent as the genie and all have a deep hatred for men. Karen also requests that you take over as leader of the Japanese branch. The negotiations do not go well and the University of Washington headquarters does not immediately agree to Karen's request. But Karen believes that sooner or later she and Shota will rule the world instead of the 3 leaders who the night Reito comes to a nearby port. Mira does not plan to leave with him and bids a fond farewell to Reito. Reito hugs Mira before leaving, promising to come back and see her again. Reito then leaves Japan by boat with the others and they are about to go to the Sphere Resistance. At this moment, Kyoji calls Reito by video to cheer him up. They had some interactions before and he contacts Reito through a secret network without being discovered by the headquarters of the University of Washington. Joji thought about leaving too, but in the end he didn't dare. Koji doesn't know that his weakness could kill him because the UW headquarters immediately begins a new plan. In fact, they are ready to kill the surviving men. However, with Karen's help, the UW headquarters does not intend to kill Shota, but rather prepares to use Shota to govern better. In the end, the real world meets his girlfriend Erisa in the territory of the Resistance. The two hug each other tightly and promise to work together to create an antidote to the MK virus and overthrow the government of the University of Washington. This concludes the first season of World's End Harem. In the ending of the anime, Reito finally meets his beloved girlfriend. Reito's loyalty to his girlfriend moves me very much. I hope he and his girlfriend can live happily in the end. The men in this anime have taken several decisions. What kind of person would you choose to be if you were a man in this anime? Welcome to share your thoughts in the comment area. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe.